Sayyidina Ayub Alaisalam. Sayyidina Ayub Alaisalam was a descendant of Sayyidina Ibrahim Alaisalam. He was the son of Mus bin Razi bin Al-Ais bin Ishaq bin Ibrahim Alaihimussalam. He was a prophet on whom revelation descended from Allah, as is evident from the Quran. Surely we have sent revelation to you, O Muhammad, as we sent revelation to Nuh and the prophets after him. And we sent revelation to Ibrahim and Ismail and Ishaq and Yaqub and the tribes, that is their descendants, and Isa and Ayub. Surah Nisa, verse 163. The Quran tells us about him in the following verses. And as to Ayub, recall when he cried to his Lord, surely affliction has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. So we answered him, and we removed the affliction that was upon him, and we gave him his household that he had lost, and the like thereof along with them, as a mercy from us, and an admonition for the worshippers. Surah Ambiya, verses 83 to 84. And remember our servant Ayub, when he cried to his Lord, surely Shaitan has touched me with toil and chastisement. Stamp, O Ayub, the ground with your foot. This is a cool washing place and a drink. And we bestowed on him his household, and along with them the like of them, as a mercy from us, and a remembrance to men of understanding. And take in your hand a bundle of twigs, and strike with it your wife, and break not your oath. Surely we found him persevering, an excellent servant. Surely he was ever turning to us. Surah Sad, verses 41 to 44. Sayyidina Ayub Alaihissalam was a wealthy man. His wealth comprised many kinds of property like cattle, sheep, and a retinue of slaves. He also possessed vast pieces of land. He had many children and a large family. But all those things were seized from him, and his body was inflicted with different kinds of diseases, so that not one of his limbs was sound except his heart and his tongue, which he used to remember Allah. Yet he saw through these hardships with patience and perseverance. He remembered Allah and mentioned Him devotedly at night and during the day, in the morning and in the evening. His illness multiplied and prolonged for so long that friends and relatives parted with him. He was exiled from his city into the wilderness outside it, and away from habitation. Only his wife tended him, while everyone else had kept himself away from him. She nursed him and gave him his rights, remembering his kindness to her in earlier times. She helped him even when he had to answer nature's call. Soon she had to earn a living, and she worked for it so that she could feed him in his weakness. May Allah be pleased with her and please her. She was patient with him over what had passed on them in loss of property and children, with what had happened to her in the affliction over her husband and straightening of their pecuniary conditions, and in her need to work for other people after the easy and comfortable life they had been used to. Surely we belong to Allah, and to Him is our return. It is affirmed in a hadith that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The most afflicted of people in trials are the prophets, then the righteous, then their likes and their likes." And he also said, "A man is put to trial in relation to his religion. If he is deeply involved in his religion, then he is put to greater trial." However, all the trials and hardships that Sayyidina Ayub alayhi salam went through did not but increase him in patience and gratitude for Allah. His patience became proverbial, and even his affliction was cited as an example. There are different opinions on how long he suffered, but he had become a skeleton. His wife once said to him, "O Ayub, perhaps you should pray to your Lord to give you relief." He answered, "I lived happily for 70 years in sound health. Then is it wrong if I show patience for the sake of Allah for another 70 years?" So she continued to work for other people and Ayub alayhi salam. Then people stopped employing her because they feared she might carry on to them the disease of Sayyidina Ayub alayhi salam. When that happened, she sold part of her hair to some ladies and bought excellent food for her husband. He asked her how she got it, and she answered that she had served people. The next day she did the same thing, and he refused to eat it until she told him how she got it. She uncovered her head, and when he saw that it was shaved, he turned to Allah. "Surely affliction has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful." Surah Ambiya verse 83. Ibn Abi Hatim rahimahullah has transmitted a hadith narrated by Abdullah bin Ubaid bin Umair radiyallahu anh. He said that Sayyidina Ayyub alayhi salam had two brothers. They came to him one day, but they did not come near him because of the repulsive smell emanating from him. One of them said, "If Allah had known any good in him, He would not have afflicted him like that." Sayyidina Ayyub alayhi salam became angry at that, as he had never been angry before. He said, "O Allah, if you agree that I have never spent a night satiated if I knew anyone who was hungry, then do confirm that for me." A voice from the sky confirmed it, and they heard it. He then said, "If you know that I never had clothes on me until I clothed those who had none, do confirm what I say." A voice from the heavens affirmed, and they heard it. He then prostrated, saying, "O Allah, with your honor, I will not raise my head until you cure me." While he was still in prostration, his affliction was removed. Ibn Abi Hatim rahimahullah has transmitted a hadith as narrated by Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma that Sayyidina Ayyub alayhi salam was given to wear a dress of paradise, which he wore and sat down at his corner. His wife came but did not recognize him, so she asked him, "O Abdullah, where has the sick man who was sitting here gone to?" He said, "What's with you? I am Ayyub." She said, "Will you joke with me, O Abdullah?" He said, "What's wrong? I am Ayyub. Allah has returned to me my body." Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma said that Allah also returned him his wealth and children as they were, and the like of all that again. A hadith has been narrated by Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anh, transmitted by Ibn Abi Hatim, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when Sayyidina Ayyub alayhi salam was cured, golden locusts swarmed on him. He began picking them up with his hands and collecting them in his pockets. He was asked, "O Ayyub, are you not satiated?" He answered, "O Lord, and who is ever satiated with your mercy?" Imam Ahmad rahimahullah has transmitted a hadith from Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anh that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, while Ayyub was having a bath and he was naked, golden locusts fell on him. He started gathering them in his clothes. So his Lord called him, "O Ayyub, have I not enriched you enough to be satisfied?" He said, "Sure, O Lord, but I cannot dispense with your blessings." Allah has said in the Quran, as we have seen in the portions quoted above from Surah Sad, urkud birijlik, stamp the ground with your feet. A spring of cold water gushed forth, and Allah commanded him to wash himself with it and drink it. Allah washed away from him with it whatever he had of pain and disease, illness and sickness on his body, both visible and invisible. Allah converted his malady into sound health that was visible on him, and what could not be seen inside him. He was given back his beauty and wealth until locusts of gold rained on him heavily. And Allah gave him his family. All this was a mercy from Allah over him. وَذِكْرَى لِلْعَابِدِينَ, and an admonition for the worshippers, that they may remember it who are afflicted, and take a lesson from it, whether they suffer physical affliction or monetary loss or death of children. The example of Sayyidina Ayub alayhi salam, the Prophet of Allah, should be emulated. It is wrong to assume, as some have, that his wife's name was Rahmah. Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu has said that Allah returned to her her youth, and she gave birth to 26 male children. And Sayyidina Ayub alayhi salam lived 70 years after that in the city of Rome on the upright religion. But after him, the religion of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was corrupted. The Quran has also said, "And take in your hand a bundle of twigs, and strike with it your wife, and break not your oath. Surely we found him persevering, an excellent servant. Surely he was ever turning to us." Surah Sad, verse 42. This was a permission of Allah to his slave and his messenger Ayub alayhi salam, whereby he was absolved of his vow. It is said that he vowed to hit her 100 stripes because she had sold her hair. But it is also said that he had made this vow because she fell in the prompting of the devil, who came to her in the guise of a doctor and prescribed to her medicine for Sayyidina Ayub alayhi salam. When she told him about it, he recognized that it was the devil and made the vow. When Allah cured him, he directed him to tie together 100 twigs and strike her with the bundle once. That would be tantamount to striking her 100 stripes. This was a way out for one who feared his Allah and was devoted to him. It was a befitting way out for the woman who had shown immense patience and forbearance, and who was pious, truthful, and guided. May Allah be pleased with her. Many jurists rely on this verse of permission in their rulings. Ibn Jarir rahimahullah and other scholars have said that Sayyidina Ayub alayhi salam was 93 years old when he died. But some say that he lived more than that. Al-Layth has transmitted from Mujahid what means to say. Al-Layth has transmitted from Mujahid, the meaning of which is, surely on the day of resurrection, Allah will present Sulaiman alayhi salam before the rich, Yusuf alayhi salam before the handsome, and Ayub alayhi salam before those afflicted with hardship. When he died, he had entrusted his office of prophethood to his son, Humal alayhi salam, and after him, his other son Bishr became a prophet. Many consider that his son Bishr is Zul-Kifl. Sayyidina Ayub alayhi salam. Sayyidina Ayub